Hello, everybody. My name is Drake.
I'm Grant.
And together, we are JoJo Overdrive. Chapter 14! We are here.
You guys are going to be listening to this on the day of.
Yes.
We're actually getting out this.
Unless my house gets bombed somehow. We will be getting this out on time. I cannot believe it. Finally, the stars have aligned so that the chapter doesn't release when we're busy. Wonderful. Beautiful.
And I mentioned this literally right before we started recording, but it's very funny for this chapter, the volume, and the magazine cover. It's the same variation of
with Jojo leaning against the car.
Drawn 3 separate times with the characters in different spots. There's a version with Dragona in the car, Charming Man in the car, and Paco in the car.
He really was taking his photo shoot, and he was really like, okay, now we're gonna swap around everybody.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good cover, and it's the volume 3 cover because volume 3 is coming out, and no interesting chapter names, unfortunately. No like Charming Man stand name reveal or anything like that. So,
dude, how much longer are they going to be teasing this? Are we never getting this stand name ever? And then it's just gonna be the Charming Man.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, anyways, we start off with the gang. They're having a little road trip, and they're all doing something. I think Jojo's on what is that? Is that his phone, or is that some sort of switch light or something? I don't know, man. Or is it called the Switch Mini? It was names were circulating for a while there. I don't know.
Switch light.
Switch light. Okay, yeah.
I love how it just goes silence.
That's the quote-unquote sound effect. It's funny to call it a sound effect because it is silence, but it's incredibly funny. Also, Paco here is still using a physical map and not like Google Maps. That is the most unrealistic thing so far about this part. The stands I can accept.
Thing, I think in all of
this is plain bizarre. This is not happening. It's the show that he's the eldest of the group. Actually, wait, no, Charming Man's the eldest now. I forgot. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Charming Man doesn't feel like the oldest member of the group, but anyways, they arrive at the Hawaii Land Registry or whatever. And immediately right off the bat, Usagi fails. Usagi messes up the mission. Good on you. To be fair, I probably would have brought the food with me too. I'm not gonna leaving food in a car. It's just gonna go old and it's gonna go bad. I understand.
Exactly.
I understand it. I understand why it was worth compromising the mission for the ramen. But then we get the overview of basically what's going on for this next chunk of story. What Meryl's plan was that we didn't get to find out last chapter.
I kind of like how they go back and forth here, where the mission kind of starts and then we go back to Meryl McHugh. And then,
yeah. I feel like this has been happening a lot in Part 9. Compared to other parts, there's been a lot of jumping back and forth. Usually if Araki jumps back, it's way back. He does big character flashbacks rather than just rearranging small parts of the story to go out of sequence. So it's refreshing.
Oh, also before I forget, there's something I have to mention for this chapter.
Yes.
The 13 chapter long streak of Rohan being in every chapter has been officially broken.
Oh my god, you're correct. I didn't even think about that when I was reading it. No, he's forgotten.
Not in it, and they don't mention him.
Araki
has forgotten Rohan. Disturbing behavior, Araki. Get back on that. But I figured that was, the most important thing about this chapter.
Yes. Also, before I forget, I'm always supposed to say this at the beginning, but we have a Twitter. We have twitter.com. Go follow the Twitter.
Yeah, follow the Twitter.
See, we won't have to post on Twitter this time saying we'll be late because we're not going to be late unless you're seeing this late, in which I am in severe danger. Okay, so Meryl's plan is kind of what we were predicting, actually. She's
Yep,
she's going
it's
after the land.
exactly.
Yep, we basically guessed it. It wasn't that hard to guess, but
1 point JoJo Overdrive, 999,999 points of Rocky.
yeah, we're climbing the ranks of the prediction ladder. Where we might reach 2 to 9,999.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're going after the land deeds. So they're gonna touch the land deeds, and they're going to see what happens. It's just basically an experiment, which it's a pretty good plan because they say these deeds are like public and everything. So it's not like them walking in and looking at them is technically doing anything wrong. Technically.
I just started thinking of Love Train when it was like the land being drawn or whatever.
That honestly, that would be crazy if that exact thing started like happening.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that
what that's kind of what I was thinking there, and especially there's I mean I can skip ahead a little bit. Where is it here? Meryl McHugh says something interesting. About how the land wasn't originally the land wasn't owned by anyone. It's okay. It says land was originally the ground of the gods, and to me that's also the Holy Corpse being underground.
Yeah.
Palm being the literal ground of the gods.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
and
true.
so this could either be him just doing the same ideas and points, maybe it's not legitimately connected, but also it's worth mentioning that.
Yeah. A huge theme of the Part 8 rock humans. I don't think these guys are rock humans, but I'm just saying a connecting thread
There's
was
something
that
later
rock
on
humans liked sacred
also
ground, quote unquote, or whatever. So there's clearly some sort of connecting thread between all these ideas.
Definitely thought about something about who owns in throughout all of Part 7, Part 8, Part 9 of just who owns land and
And this whole section of dialogue from Meryl is discussing the fact that the lava rock essentially gives the user ownership of things, because she's explaining how technically when they're touching the money and it comes back to them, the money doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just represents the idea of owning something. You own this amount of the currency, etc., and the deeds say you own the land. We get a little emoji thing for Howler. They have a little logo, and
I know.
It looks
okay,
like a wolf, a llama? I can't
me.
tell. It's hard to tell.
That proves to me that Howler's gonna be a bigger deal than just being nothing. You know what I mean?
Not everything gets an emoji now.
Yeah.
Rohan gets emojis.
The H is a wolf putting in howling and putting its head up.
Oh, that's what it is. I interpreted the ears as the nose and the open mouth as the ears.
I think I originally did, but now looking at it, that's
so obvious. No, that's obvious what it is. I feel foolish now.
But that's super fun. Yeah, I mean it's too good of a name. You can't waste that.
Yeah,
and obviously how this chapter ends, there's clearly some shenanigans going on with them. So
I'd also like to point out this panel.
Breaking Bad reference.
Hold on. Yeah, you say yours, I'll say mine.
The Breaking Bad reference when Meryl McHugh says no half measures.
No, oh my god, that's a translation, you rat. You don't. Stop it. If Meryl McHugh says no half measures entirely in English in the Japanese version, I would go insane. I would be going ballistic.
I mean, it's translated, man. So
we have to take it at face value. Anyways, there's a panel that I think it's funny where it just says absent-minded over all of the members.
That was really funny.
They're just staring into space.
We might have to use that for the thumbnail.
That's a really funny one. Yeah, I can't believe a Rocky brought back same face syndrome. Look at that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Anyways, we return back to the present, where Usagi's mishap doesn't end up doing that much, as far as we know. It could make them more memorable, as they say. But either way, then we reach a interesting, to say the least, panel of the story in which Dragona pulls out a fake ID for Charming Man to use, and the Hawaii driver's license. The name underneath is Barack Obama. This is not a joke.
This is what happened. What it says. This is what happened. Whoever was like putting this together, if it was Rocky or an editor or something, they looked up Hawaii driver's license, and I believe Obama's is one of the first to.
Let me try this
because he like grew up in Hawaii or whatever. So it's like the fifth one when you look it up. So what they did is they took that one, and it's identical. The dates match up too. If you look at it,
it even has the middle name. Yeah,
the number and all of that matches up. And so what they did was they just took the photo of the Obama license and then put it on the card, and then just
That's so fun. But it's also weird because like the place where the picture is flipped. So maybe I don't know.
They probably just wanted a bunch of numbers so they could easily like copy and paste it on there or whatever. But it is really, really funny.
That's the second result for Hawaii's driver's license is McLovin, by the way.
Yeah, that one was the main thing is I can't tell if this is supposed to be like an intentional gag of having his name be Obama and them just being that stupid and incompetent.
I would like in an optimal world, I'd like to think that the editor snuck this past the Rocky because it's so small and you can barely even like if I didn't see this on my first read. I had to be told, but now it absolutely says Barack Hussein Obama. That's what it says.
I think it would have been really funny. There's a little bit of a reaction of Charming Man, but I think it would have been funny if there was like a one panel of Charming Man being like, "Are you serious?"
I'm not. I'd like to think this like worker here sees Barack Obama and is convinced that this is the president.
and then wouldn't it have been funny if then when he has to like change his face or whatever, if he had to like turn into Obama?
No, Charming Man, don't do blackface. No, don't do it. It's not worth the mission.
Which, by the way, the whole part where he changes his face reminds me of Anasui.
Oh yeah, it does. It's very Diver Downing it. Yeah, he fuses it with his face. He starts mewing right here.
Yeah, it is really funny.
Great section of the story. Anyways, after all that, we got a little stuff action with Mate Kudasai, which we haven't seen been actually used in ages for being so hypothetically powerful.
Yeah.
And two of the uses so far have been camera, but in different footage. So, Rocky, come on, you have like the biggest potential ever here.
This is what we're gonna do here. It's just cameras every.
It's just cameras. We're FNAFing this. That's his ability. Okay, okie dokie. Okay, they have to get past security. They originally just want to look at them all digitally, but he's like, actually, Usagi is a student, and he needs to look at the paper records, actually. Who looks at paper records anymore, to be real? This is all a formality. I understand the workers' confusion. And then Usagi has to pretend to be looking at the papers, which I just find the premise... I find the premise funny. Also, I've noticed
having him learn history or whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine Usagi is an actual like student in anything. Like, I don't think this man has learned anything since the first grade. I don't know. I
don't think he knows how to read.
He's an implied drug addict, not proven, but I don't think this man has a single thought going inside his brain. He's not capable of functioning. Funny. And from what it looks like, we just get a lot of panels of not really that much happening, but that's not a bad thing. Just nothing to talk about here. But then something like weird happens with the lava rock or whatever. At one certain point, it starts like vibrating on its own.
Yeah.
In the chest pocket, it starts just like trembling. Which we haven't really seen that happen before. And then the papers kind of like jolt up for a second. So I can't even fathom a guess about.
I think it's just another connection with how the land, the Holy Land or whatever and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
the lava rocks are clearly connected. I think it just has to do with that.
What if two people had lava rocks, and because there was multiple before, and they tried to own the same thing at the same time? What would happen? That might be what's happening here. Because remember,
resets the universe.
No, I actually think something like that could be happening here, because remember, they're going after Howler's land or whatever, and Charming Man said that whenever he tried to get close, stuff would always get in the way, so they could be using lava rock power in order to secure this land. And these two, the reason why the lava rock is like shaking is because it's like pulling against the power of the other lava rock. That's cool. That's my theory. That's just a theory, a JoJo theory. Thanks for watching.
And then Josuke has to come in and go, "No, don't connect rocks.
Don't do it.
It's not holy."
don't do that. I'm Josuke Higashikata from Part 8 JoJoLands. That'd be awesome and epic and cool. Remember when we thought that Josuke was gonna be here like chapter 2?
Chapter 2.
We were like, guys, Rohan's definitely not gonna be Rohan. It's gonna be Josuke, guys. It's gonna be Josuke. And then suddenly Usagi like dies or something, or starts dying. So he starts vomiting up something.
How funny would it be if the literal first page of the next chapter is him going, "Oh, okay, I'm all right. I think that was just the ramen."
that would be obscenely funny. No, but Charming Man says that it's a cloudy liquid, which is fascinating. I swear to God, if the anime white snakes this and makes it all white, I swear to Lord in heaven, I will never see the end of it. Usagi, what were you doing in the land registry? No, at a time like this, come on, man.
Who doesn't do this when they go visit?
What are you talking about? You ain't never been to Hawaii if you've never done this before.
But yeah, I was like, wow, damn, he's like doing some like body horror stuff, and he just keeps vomiting and not being able to breathe. Do you think it's like literally filling up his lungs?
I think so. I think maybe. I mean, it could be his stomach, but either way, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely because it says he stops breathing for a while. So maybe if he just imagine if he just died here. Imagine if this was it. Like it's over. He's done. It's not. Rocky, you wouldn't do that to us, right? You wouldn't. You wouldn't this early. Would be a change of pace, certainly. Also, for the first time, we have seen a glimpse of Usagi without the full, like diving, like, skin suit part of his, like, head on. And apparently under that, he has, like, a mini, like, ponytail under there. Like, what? Yeah. What's the deal with that? Why do you're not even, why even bother having one if you're not, like, showing it out? It's hidden the whole time. What is your deal, Usagi? What is your
Usagi
shtick?
Clearly at the end here ate a Rokakaka fruit. That was
that's true. That's going on in his skin.
In his ramen, he had the Rokakaka.
And see, Charming Man, the 100% rock human, is able to identify that it's what's going on.
The rock disease.
As a disease, yes. He's so smart and intelligent because of the rock human. Because
Charming Man and Paco were both
rock humans. Because this is part 8, part 2, just like.
And also, Jojo and Dragona are also rock humans because their dad was a rock human.
Yes. And just like their dad was Giorno, but Dio, but not.
Exactly.
But, yes.
The dad is actually Diego, too.
This all makes sense, really, if you think about it. I see. Rocky never forgot a single plot point. I understand now. Yep. He had a vision, and I'm following along.
Seriously, though, this does look like the Rokakaka thing.
No, it does. It certainly does. It's less like cracking and more like, I don't even know. Like
It's also not really. I mean. Maybe you could say it like took his lungs or whatever, but it's not like taking a certain thing. It's just like showing up on his skin. You know?
I just find it interesting that Charming Man like points out that the vomit is like different. It's interesting, but at the same time, he also has this
attack on him.
I know, but I'm just saying that the stand ability can't be too generic because he's also getting this like skin condition, so it's obviously it's not like his lungs are being forcefully filled up and that's the ability. He's being inflicted with some disease because it wouldn't do this skin thing if not, unless there's two different abilities happening at the same time, which I doubt he would do, but I don't know, poorly aged freaking things have happened before. But when do you think this like triggered or whatever? When did this happen? Like inside? Was it one of the workers or is?
I think it was probably one of the workers.
Okay, that makes sense. We saw like what there was one worker and 2 security guards around. I'm looking at them. Neither of them look like they're
also,
fully
in terms
JoJo-y,
of
but...
how the stand is affecting his body. Do you know what stand it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Green Day in Part 5 with the mold.
Oh, that's true. You're right. You are correct.
And with the smoke too.
You
So
might be onto something.
I'm like that was in one instantly I was like, oh yeah, that's like pretty similar to the mold. But clearly also it's white, so
yeah, there's something. Well, he just says it's cloudy. It's hard to tell. It's
100% a stand attack, probably by someone in the building. I can't imagine, or it's someone outside, kind of far away, watching them.
Rocky randomly brings back like early Part 7 non-stand users, like with special abilities, like Mrs. Robinson, just for fun, just for right here.
Do you think this is a thing though, where the illness is like contagious and will spread to others like the mold? Or
That's
do you
what
think
I'm saying. I'm not exactly certain because I'm not sure like the.
I think it could. I think
attack.
what it is like a more powerful version of that, but you can only affect one person.
Do you think this is a COVID-19 variant that's happened and this is all just a coincidence? This is all. This doesn't mean anything at all. It's not a
COVID-20.
COVID-20 is finally, but that's the plot of JoJo Part 9 is that COVID-20 has been unleashed upon.
You're gonna bring back the eco-terrorists from Rohan.
Whatever. What was the story called?
COVID-20.
I don't remember.
I completely forgot that.
I remember a lot of the names of the Rohan spin-offs, but not that specific one for some reason.
And that was the most recent one too.
Yeah, that was like right
I don't remember
now.
it at all.
It couldn't top Hot Summer Martha, so I just couldn't remember, even though it was good. We have a funny moment here where Paco and Jojo are hanging out in the car, and this is kind of a classic like split up the JoJo team moment where they're looking over at what's happening and they're like, wow, they sure are like relaxing over there. Like they sure are
funny.
Lying down and resting. Wow, that's great. Let's not go over there. It kind of reminds me of that part in Part 5 where Giorno has to fight Babyface and he's just like over the wall and dying and he's like waving at them to help and they're like, okay, he's waving at us because he's saying he's all good and fine and okay. Let's not go over that this whole time. I think in the anime version they made the wall there higher so it would block out more of what was happening because it was a really stubby wall and they would be able to see exactly.
You know what they
gotta
do next chapter to cure freaking Usagi?
Yeah.
They gotta bring back from the thing from Part 3 where they shrink their stands down.
Oh, that would go so hard. If you randomly brought that back, that would honestly be kind of
Smooth
awesome.
Operators doing that would actually be cool though.
Honestly, yeah, that would be really
see
fun.
That. What if there's a thing where like Smooth Operators to fix something? We don't know how the illness is working. We don't know if it's like an airborne thing. We don't know if it's like a stand like taking root in his lungs or something.
Yeah, the only time I remember something like that happening recently, when like a stand being able to fix something like that is Sheer Heart Attack. The Part 8 Sheer Heart Attack went inside the blood vessels of
that was super similar.
That was
I can't believe we
completely
never made
random.
that connection before. I don't think anyone's talked about that before. Yeah, it is very similar to Part 3 when they do that. But, I mean, this was a really, really good chapter. I think setting up the stakes, too. It was goofy, but then you got the little bit of, like, horror at the end. I think it is a little bit, like... It's pretty similar to the setup of the last arc with Charming Man, where Dragona's the one that's all, like, injured and stuff.
Yeah, he's got to take people out before so he can thin the numbers, especially because they're one person up now.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's fair. It's not a bad setup. It's good. I like it. It has the tension. But also, I don't think they have a healer on the team, so I don't know how this is going to.
And we talked about that. We always said that where we're like, they're pretty strong and stuff, but they don't have any healer.
Yeah,
really.
Usually a team has some sort of healer.
Smooth Operators can kind of, but if you're dead, like you're dead. You're not going to get It's not like part 5 where Bruno is literally dead.
Yeah, like literally dead. That's like a whole thing.
Lives until he's a rotting corpse.
Yeah. Part 8 was pretty egregious with Josuke taking 1 billion points of damage and then just being fine the next chapter. Like in the Born This Way fight, he gets like ice stabbed into him and he gets like he gets run over by the motorcycle and everything, and he's bleeding out and everything. In the next chapter, he's fine and nothing's happened, and he's okay.
Yeah.
You could excuse that, like, same thing has been happening for, like, part 3, but you could say, Joseph's Hamon could have done it off screen, and part 4, obviously, they could fix every injury. In part 5, they could fix injuries, and in part 6, Foo Fighters had, like, a semi-healing ability. And part 7, Spin was kind of like it's not quite as literal, like healing as Hamon was more. But still, it did have some medicinal properties. But part 8 had nothing. Part 8 was just, he was recovering left and right. It was kind of ridiculous. So I hope that doesn't happen this part. I wouldn't care that much, though, but it would be nice if we got some reason as to why they're not all dying still. Has anyone sustained a major I mean, Dragona was able to fix himself, but that's about all I remember. I don't think anything else major has happened.
No, there hasn't been any major ones. No, it was just that one.
It was. I guess that does count as healing, but like in this specific instance, I don't think
he heals. But also, it was literally like instantly. Like in universe, it was like got cut and then immediately.
It was just moving. It was just moving a cut. It wasn't like if someone. I don't think if someone's limb cut off, it could do it because I don't think you could move it like that.
No,
I don't think that's how it works. I think minor injuries, it's fine, but. Either way,
I also would guess more internal injuries would also be something that it wouldn't really be able to do.
Maybe we'd have to see. We will see. We have to see more. More of it in action. Either way, what did y'all think about the chapter?
They're gonna reveal that Usagi, the freaking sky high little geyser in it.
The little rods, the sky high rods. Are you kidding me? Can you let me say my YouTuber outro comment bait thing, please? Could you please stop interrupting me? What did you think about the chapter?
This is it. JoJo Overdrive.
No, not yet. No. I say comments. You go in the comments and you say, "Oh, I thought this chapter was marvelous," and I go, "Thanks, that's so awesome and great. You're such a great fan."
I
Please
really
continue to comment.
When Toru showed up.
I like when shut up. Also, Flashback Man, I haven't said it yet. There we go. It's in the video. Ding ding ding, and the bingo card. I think we covered it. I was going for a while without getting withdrawals. Like the video. Like it. There's a button.
We're gonna have our part 1 discussion probably next week, guys.
Probably next week. That makes sense. Yes. Don't know if it's gonna be 2 videos or 1. It'll probably be 1.
Probably be 1.
It's definitely if it ends up being 3 videos, I think I would go insane. I
There's
don't
no
think we
way.
deserve. I don't think. The only reason we talked about JOJOLands for so long is because it's the longest part so far. So, anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Twitter's, YouTube, subscribe, everything, lots of things, plugs things. Thank you. This has been JoJo Overdrive, signing off. Shake it like it's heat. Overdrive. Coming through now. Coming through now. Coming through. Watch where you're going. Overdrive. Let the downside up to top notch. Whatever haters do. Hot top.